But what else in terms of digital positioning of NLB could you share with us? Do you have cooperations with fintechs, or how much do you innovate internally?
Yeah, I mean, all of this is happening in parallel, right? You have a mobile app or you cooperate with fintech. Then you decide at a certain point of time, you might try proprietary something of this, Then you go, of course, with CRM solution. Of course, you partner with some fintech again, and so on and so on. So it's always a combination of everything. Whatever you implement, it's always a combination. You try to partner with external resources, and you, of course, where you want to differentiate from others, because all of these solutions are, sooner or later, a commodity, right? Everyone can use the same off-the-shelf product. So this differentiation part you want to have insourced, right? So we are, as we speak, one of the largest ICT companies in the region. We have 700 people in IT, right? Which is not maybe impressing you, but in former Yugoslav territory, there are not many companies that have more than 700 people working in IT, right? We have started establishing the subsidiary in Belgrade because Serbia, with the project of Digital Serbia 15 years ago, really started introducing coding and informatics, ICT into the curriculum of elementary schools, and they're really producing thousands of programmers every year, right? It's easier to get them. So we have established a subsidiary in Serbia called NLB Digit, which now has 120, was just granted, further FTE. So mid of next year, we will have 200 talents, right? And these guys will be working on platformization of whatever is procured, be it from external partners or proprietary developed. They will be scaling it group wide, right? It's tedious. We are incumbent bank. We have 300 systems. You know that very well. Being a big incumbent bank as well. I mean, it's not a walk in the park. It is a very tedious process. It's very hard. But if you have a clear vision, this is the aspired outcome. All of this end-to-end, mobile first, 24/7, easy but safe, right? This is how we communicate now. Mobile first, 24/7, easy but safe, because cybersecurity and fraud becomes an overwhelming threat. The utmost expressed risk category is now cyber. This can throw you out of the business. I mean, you lose a big corporate ticket, okay, it's a hit to your profits. You have a major cyber incident, you're out of business. Right? So this is something that I am specifically being responsible for CISO functionalities and AML. And AML is another concern because this is strong regulatory pressure and sanctioning context that is very, very strong, right? So these are the major concerns that keep me awake, right, at night.
You still are responsible for a bank that was state-owned. We talk now about innovation. How do you make sure that also the teams everywhere, you said now a new entity in Serbia, but the rest of your staff gets into innovation mode? Is there a special purpose you do there? Any special teams created? How is that working?
We are, of course, now working on tribes and agility and all of these concepts. But interestingly, subsidiaries didn't feel that much this state ownership. They were actually much more entrepreneurial, and we were actually blocking them because of our capital constraints and problems that we've got in Slovenia. But they were very, very entrepreneurial. Our Skopje team was always very entrepreneurial, and very, very promoting new features immediately when they came to life in Germany or whatever, or Poland, the well-developed Turkey, very close. So actually, it was more holding them back. We were in the straitjacket of state aid, so we couldn't really invest a lot, and we had to start repaying state aid. I think now that beyond Komercijalna was a trigger. Acquisition of Komercijalna Banka was a real trigger. You can do big things. We can. For 4 years, OTP was winning, for example, awards for best mobile apps. Now we are back. So the best mobile app is NLB. The best web app is NLB. The best web portal is NLB. Slovenia, talking about, right? And now we want to platformize that. Where we all have room for improvement is, of course, the entire ecosystems, the digital sales, how to actually persuade people and train people that they can really use all of these sexy features in self-service format, and they don't come to branch or they don't call, right? They simply do it on their own, right? This is now a journey. But we put in production, for example, the first credit card self-approval, overdraft self-approval, and we plan 25% in a year. Guess what? It's 70% after 4 months. Transition is enormously quick. People are actually eager. People are actually eager of, not having to come anywhere or not having to pick up the phone and talk to anyone. Especially younger generations, they want to, do it on spot. They don't need anyone for that, right? As long as it's intuitive enough, it's your job to make it intuitive enough and easy to use enough. And then they will use it. And quicker than you believe. And this is then, of course, naturally something that is not that easy to embrace. In our communication also to our managers and so on. Guys, 30% less people in a couple of years. no, impossible. I need 15 more FTEs to be able to address it. No, you will not get these 15 FTEs. Think of AI, RPA assistance, how to actually address the work process that you use already now differently and not with a person. Because you will not be able to find these 15 people even if you wanted to. They are not in the market, right? Demographics speak for themselves in Central Europe, right? Slovenia and Austria were the only countries in Central Europe that had actually growth of population, but this has come to a peak, right? We were actually, benefiting from Western Balkans influx, but then Germany opened the floodgate and, they went to Germany directly. So we lost this edge. Now it's people from Asia and Africa. And how do you use them in banking? Indians maybe yes in programming, but the others is much more difficult.
Raiffeisen Bank International. Make it happen.